The 49ers hosted Malachi Corley the other day. What's your read on that? Is that are they going to try to draft? A lot of people feel like at wide receiver that Ayuk will be back, that Debo will be there, that the Niners will go super expensive for 1 year in the wide receiver room, and then maybe move off of Debo next year when it's a little bit less cost prohibitive to do so, either by releasing him or by trading him. So then when you see that they worked out, Malachi Corley, in a lot of ways, a lot of people feel like he's the Debo clone. Do you think the plan might be to draft Corley in the second round and trade or move off of Debo in the offseason? Maybe you go O-line or D-line in round 1, Corley in round 2, and have him there to allow you to move off of Debo late, either in June, which to me doesn't make sense, or maybe next year, which seems like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I love Malachi Corley. I mean, he just keeps getting better. I mean, if you really look at it right now, he's almost kind of has the same body type as Debo. I believe Debo's about 6 foot, maybe 220. That's Malachi Corley to the button. He first came into WKU at, I think he was about 190 pounds. Made his way all the way up to 220, right? So he's gained 30 pounds since he's been in college. Also kept his speed. He's a 4.4 guy. Very quick after catch. He's known as the Yak King over there at Western Kentucky, for being able to be one of the most physical runners that they have. Also, one thing that I love about Malachi Corley is his acceleration. I mean, at one point they had him clocked over 23 miles per hour on multiple games that he played. He's a sure hand catcher. And the thing about him is that he's not just a receiver. He's a multi-positional high school player. He played quarterback, a little bit of running back, played some outside linebacker on defense in high school. So you're also getting a guy who just knows ball, right? He can play the sport, not play the position. That's a very big thing that you need to have in any football player, but it shines as a priority here because of being a willing blocker, being able to run hard on routes to get downfield. That's something that I think Malachi Corley, if you want to put him 1-on-1, since we're talking about Debo Samuel versus Malachi, one of the things that I feel like Debo can do is Debo's a little bit more physical after the catch, especially going downhill. But as far as feet, and actually being able to cut on a dime and give you real receiver moves where you get actual routes, Malachi Corley is over Debo Samuels in that in spades. It's not even close. On top of the fact that Malachi Corley, for what he does in intermediate pass catching, blocking after the catch, being able to get those screens, those now routes, those tunnel screens that we all know and love from Debo, he's a deep threat. He can actually get downfield, right? And actually burn guys. So, it could be a viable option. And just the way the game works, everything goes downhill, right? At one point, Debo Samuel was a pure weapon, right? Because he was just so rare and unique inside of the tapestry of what was happening in football at the time that he made a name for himself. And then it got elevated when he came to this offense and got showcased. Now there's guys out there now that are kind of taking on the same ilk, and you're going to see a lot more Debo Samuels out there. There's a kid out of Alabama, I believe is Kendrick Law or Kevin Story, I believe. One of those guys. Wears number 19, scat back kid, plays receiver, short, stocky, yards after the catch. So these guys are popping up now. And if we're going to keep doing things the way Kyle has shown us offensively, then we got to get a Debo replacement. It's not a slight on Debo, but it's just how the conveyor belt works. We got to find a guy that fills your skill set. I think it would be a great pickup to get him.
Great tone. 765 says at Bang Bang. What's your thoughts on Ryan Flournoy, the wide receiver from Southeast Missouri State? I'd like to get him in the 6th round. I'll say this: he runs great. This is a good sized receiver, 6'2", 200 pounds plus. He's an Illinois kid. And he went to Iowa Western Community College. He went the JUCO route. and then transferred to Southeast Missouri State, which I think is where Delaney Walker may have gone. If
I
you
think
go
so.
back and research that. But this kid's good. I mean, he's got speed, he's got size. He's going to be a late round sleeper. I like Flournoy a lot. I mean, I don't remember his combine time, but it was good. I mean,
Evan
I know
slotted at
he,
a 4-4.
yeah. I mean, he can run and he's got good size. So Ryan Flournoy is an interesting day 3 receiver for sure. I don't know
You
if
know
you
who
have
else is
any.
an interesting day 3 receiver?
Who do you
T.O.'s
got?
kid. T.O.'s
Well,
kid.
that was another topic. Terique. So Terique Owens worked out in front
Was
of
that a real
Niner.
topic?
Well, yeah, because it's on Niner Nation today. I saw Matt Mayoko put out that this kid went to Missouri State. Terique
Hold on. The
Owens.
Niners looked at him?
Yeah, they worked him out. They worked him out at the University of Missouri. And I guess he ran 4.51, so he's not a burner, but he had a vertical of 38.5. That's pretty good. Broad jump of 10.4. That's very good. And he's T.O.'s son, and he's 6'1". He's 200 pounds, so he's not T.O. size. 4.51. It's not slow, but it's not fast. He had his most productive year this year, 28 catches, 528 yards, 4 touchdowns. Only somebody named Raylan Sharp had more receiving yards on the team. So he was second on the team. What do you think? Have you seen T.O.'s kid? I haven't seen him.
I seen a little bit of him. I mean, at 6'1", 200 pounds. I mean, one thing I will say, he's got good ball control. I've seen some film on him as far as like he's a physical runner. He almost kind of looks just like T.O. running. You know how T.O. has like that upright gait where his arms are really stiff. He kind of runs from his elbows. He kind of has that move going on. Average feet, but he is physical. He's a real 50-50 ball guy, loves to get the ball up in the air. Somebody that he didn't have necessarily a talented quarterback. So a lot of the balls that he was going after were kind of some of the stuff that he would see here. And he's a bigger body. I mean, almost kind of reminds me of he doesn't play like his father. If I had to give him a comp, remember Jordan Matthews out of Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rice's nephew, I believe.
Yeah. He kind of gives me Jordan Matthews vibes. Big kid. He can get out and run if you give him space, not necessarily nuanced. Has
Doesn't
quick,
separate. Doesn't
yeah.
separate. I mean,
He's not necessarily going to separate. That's why I said he's a 50-50 ball guy, where a lot of the catches that he makes are going to be under duress. He's going to be wrestling to get the ball. He has good hands that's how you go and get your money. He has good hands, but I would see him as, maybe a late signing, maybe probably not going to get drafted this year, but
yeah.
he's a look.